All right, here we go. Question number 22 from our 0314 homework number 4 in MyLab Math. And the instructions say find the domain of the function. Okay, so let's see what they want. Write the domain in set builder notation. Select the correct choice below, and if necessary, fill in any answer boxes to complete your choice. Okay, so we have a function that has a fraction with variables in the denominator. So this is a rational function. And it's important to know what kind of function it is so that you'll know if the function has a particular restriction. And a rational function has a particular restriction in that the denominator cannot be 0. Okay? So if I'm going to find the domain, which are the values that x can be, one of the things I need to consider is, are there any values that x can't be? And so we call that the restriction. So here our restriction is the denominator cannot be 0 because division by 0 is undefined. We're going to set the denominator not equal to 0. And then when I solve that inequality, I'll know what x can't be, and then I'll know what x can be. Does that make sense? If I know what it can't be, then I'll know what it can be. All right, so anyway, we have a trinomial. I guess you could also call it a quadratic. This is a quadratic inequality. But since there's 3 terms and the lead coefficient is 1, we're going to factor like we factor a standard trinomial. Okay, so we're going to use our parentheses. We're going to read the signs. And we're going to fill in the blanks. X and x make x squared. I'm going to need 2 numbers that multiply to make 18 that also add and make 9. And I believe that is 6 and 3. 3 times 6 is 18. 6 plus 3 is 9. So that is factored correctly. And now I can set each factor not equal to 0 and solve for x. X plus 3 cannot be 0. And x plus 6 cannot be 0. Moving the 3 over, we can see that x cannot be negative 3. And moving the 6 over, x cannot be negative 6. Now, what does this mean? This means the domain is all real numbers except negative 3 and negative 6. Those are our restriction. And so if we come over here to the answer choices, look at answer A. X is a real number and no restriction. It's definitely not A. X is a real number and x is not equal to. And then x is a real number and x is not equal to. Okay, so there are 2 numbers here. And we do have 2 values that are excluded. So I'm gonna put my money on C. And notice it says use ascending order. So that means from smallest to biggest, negative 6 is smaller than negative 3. So if I use the ascending order, there we get the right answer. Excellent. Now then, the domain in interval notation. All right, so let's come over here to the scratch work and look at how do we write this using interval notation. Well, interval notation is like if you think about a number line where we've got negative 6 and negative 3, I'm going to put open circles because those numbers are excluded. They are not included in the domain, but the domain can be anything else. Okay, so I'm going to shade the entire number line. Everything but these 2 values are in the domain. So the interval notation would be everything from minus infinity, because that shading goes forever, up to negative 6, and we use a parenthesis because negative 6 is not included. And then we're going to use the union symbol to skip over to the other side of negative 6 and keep going until we get to negative 3. Again, a parenthesis, negative 3 is not included. And another union symbol, we skip to the other side of negative 3 and keep going all the way to infinity. And so this is the way the domain would look using interval notation. And now let's put that in and see if I'm just making a bunch of junk up. Here we go. Negative, infinity, comma, -6, parenthesis. The U is the glue that sticks the two pieces together. The -3. Bam. And we need another U. And -3 to infinity and beyond. Here we go. Fingers crossed. Bam. Man, I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave those in the comment section below, or you can text me. And thanks for watching.